Alright, so welcome to my first video in the operator overload series. In this video, we aren't going to be overloading any operators. We're just going to be giving an introduction to classes. So if you already know what a class is, then you can go ahead and skip to the next videos. But if not, let's talk about it for a couple minutes here. I'll just give a quick introduction and then we will continue. So over here you can see I have a very standard C++ program that I went ahead and wrote before I started recording this video. You have two integers, a and b. A is equal to 3 and b is equal to 7. So if I do C out over here of a plus b, what we will get is we will get the result. Hopefully that makes sense. We get 10. So we have these two items, declared items of the class integer, and the class integer built into C++ has the operator of plus built in. So that means that somebody went ahead and wrote how two integers are supposed to act when you put a plus in between them. So that seems pretty simple, and it is. But now, what happens when we want to make our own class? Like, let's say I don't want to use an integer. I want to calculate a fraction. So a fraction is actually a rational number, and we're just going to go ahead and create a class real quick. So if you've never created a class before, it's really simple. All you have to do is go into your file, the folder that your C++ file is in. This is how I do it on a C line on a Mac, but in Visual Studio on Windows, it's also pretty much the same. Very easy. I'm actually not going to be talking about it too much, but what we do here is we click on Create New C++ Class, and let's call this class Rational, because the class that we want to create is rational numbers. So we're just going to click OK, and we see that it's going to create a .cpp file and a .h file. So let's go ahead and click OK, and I'll quickly explain. Over here, this rational.h file is the header file. This is the file that we will write all of our function or method or everything definitions. And over here, this is where we're actually going to be creating those definitions and telling the program what exactly to do. All right, so back to the header file. A rational number is going to have two private members. So we're going to put in private there, and we're going to give it int numerator. And of course, we're also going to give it a denominator. All right, and those, of course, are both integers. Now, in terms of public methods, like I said, I'll explain that in just a bit. We're going to give this, first of all, we're going to give it some setters and getters. So we're going to put in void. Let's do set num, and we're going to put in void set den. Okay, now num is short for numerator and den is short for denominator. And of course, what we're going to do is we're going to receive an integer for both of these. So we're going to do int and int, and then we're also going to make a getter. So that's going to be an int method. So let's do get get num, and this of course is going to be constant. We don't want to change that, and we're going to do int for get den, and of course this is also going to be const. You don't have to understand why I'm doing that right now, but these are the two methods here. And then what we're going to do is actually, like I said before, we do have a .cpp file. So we're going to go ahead and click on generate definition for function set num. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get the parameter. I'm going to call it my num, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just go numerator equals my num. And we're going to do the same thing for the denumerator. We're going to go ahead and set this. So we're going to call this myden. And for here, we're going to do denominator equals myden. All right. Now, you're not allowed to divide by 0. So we're going to put an if statement here. So we're going to say if myden equals 0, we're going to make the denominator be equal to 1, just to fix that. Otherwise, it's going to be equal to myden, the other parameter that the function received. And now what we can do is we can go into the main, and before we use the rational number, we just need to go ahead and put in include rational.h, because it is a custom class that we've created, so we have to tell the main that we're using those files. And now what I can do is I can do rational, and I can call it mynum, and we can go ahead and set the numerator and denominator by using our method. So if we mynum, we can do mynum dot set set num, and then we can go ahead and give this an integer. So let's do 5. And then let's go ahead and set our numerator. So let's do mynum.setDen. And let's go ahead and give this one a value of 6. So now our fraction looks like that. It's just 5/6. All right, so now in terms of our getters, the way we're going to define them is going to be much easier. Let's just go ahead and click to generate them. And this is going to be really easy. We're just going to do return numerator, and of course we're just going to do the same exact thing for the denominator. Let's do return. All right, now the reason we're using the getters and the setters is because like I mentioned, these two members, numerator and denumerator, they're both private. So that the proper thing to do would be to access them and update them with setters and getters. So if we want to go ahead and show you how that works, so we can do mynum dot get num, for example. Now this is just a lot safer than doing cout of mynum dot num, because that doesn't exist publicly. Those are private members. So if we went ahead and couted that, then we can get what our numerator is. So those are basic things, basic methods, getter and setters. And yeah, so this video was made to kind of give a big introduction or small introduction into the world of classes. Hopefully in the future videos, we're going to get on to talking a little bit more about operator overloads. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.